Matthew chapter 27. When it was morning, all the chief priests and the elders of the people held a consultation against Jesus to put him to death. They bound him and led him away and handed him over to Pilate the governor. When Judas his betrayer saw that Jesus was condemned, Judas was afflicted in mind and troubled for his former folly, and with remorse, with little more than selfish dread of the consequences, he brought back the 30 pieces of silver to the chief parties and the elders, saying, "I've sinned in betraying innocent blood." They replied, "What is that to us? See that yourself." And casting the pieces of silver forward into the holy place of the sanctuary of the temple, he departed and went off and hanged himself. But the chief priests, picking up the pieces of silver, said, "Is it not legal to put these in the consecrated treasury, for it is the price of blood?" So after consultation, they brought with them the pieces of silver, the potter's field, as a place in which to bury strangers. Therefore that piece of ground has been called the field of blood to the present day. Then they were fulfilled the words spoken by Jeremiah the prophet when he said, "And they took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of him on whom a price had been set by some of the sons of Israel, and they gave them for the potter's field as the Lord directed me." Now Jesus stood before the governor Pilate, and the governor asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus said to him, "You have stated the fact." But when the charges were made against him, the chief priests and elders, he made no answer. Then Pilate said to him, "Do you not hear how many and how serious are the things they are testifying against you?" But he made no reply to him, not even to a single accusation, so that the governor marveled greatly. Now at the feast of the Passover, the governor was in the habit of setting free for the people any one prisoner whom they choose. And at that time, they had a notorious prisoner whose name was Barabbas. So when they had assembled for this purpose, Pilate said to them, "Whom do you want me to set free for you, Barabbas or Jesus, who is called Christ?" For he knew that it was because of envy that they had handed him over to him. Also, while he was seated on the judgment bench, his wife sent him a message saying, "Have nothing to do with that just and upright man, for I have had a painful experience today in a dream because of him." But the chief priests and the elders prevailed on the people to ask for Barabbas and put Jesus to death. Again the governor said to them, "Which of the two do you wish me to release for you?" And they said, "Barabbas." Pilate said to them, "And what shall I do with Jesus, who is called the Christ?" They all replied, "Let him be crucified." And he said, "Why? What has he done that is evil?" But they shouted all louder, "Let him be crucified." So when Pilate saw that he was getting nowhere, but rather that a riot was about to break out, he took water and washed his hands in the presence of the crowd, saying, "I am not guilty nor responsible for this righteous man's blood. See to it yourselves." And all the people answered, "Let his blood be on us and our children." So he set free for them Barabbas, and he had Jesus whipped and delivered up to be crucified. Then the governor's soldiers took Jesus into the palace, and they gathered the whole battalion about him, and they stripped off his clothes and put a scarlet robe, garment of dignity worn by Roman officers of rank, upon him. And leaving a crown of thorns, they put it on his head and put a reed in his right hand. And kneeling before him, they made sport of him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews." And they spat on him and took the reed and struck him on the head. And when they finished making sport of him, they stripped him of the robe and put his own garments on him and led him away to be crucified. As they were marching forth, they came upon a man of Cyrene named Simon. This man they forced to carry the cross of Jesus. And when they came to a place called Golgotha, which means the place of a skull, they offered him wine mingled with gall to drink, but when he tasted it, he refused to drink it. And when they had crucified him, they divided and distributed his garments among them by casting lots, so that the prophet's saying was fulfilled. They parted my garments among them, and over my apparel they cast lots. Then they sat down there and kept watch over him. And over his head they put the accusation against him, which read, "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews."